Hi everyone, Fred here from YWCA Saskatoon, Fitness on 25th on Friday, May 15th, getting ready for the long weekend. What I've got here for you is an outline of our 50 plus workout we did for our live class this morning. We have the 50 plus group meet 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 9 a.m. You can go on our website and find out information about how to connect with us. But basically, this is the workout we did today. So I'm going to give all the outlines actually on the website. So I'm not going to go through all the details of all the numbers and reps and rounds. You can see that on the website, but these are the movements that we did in the workout. So actually 4 parts to the workout today. The first one was all standing, and then we got down on the floor for the second, third, and fourth part. So for the first part, you can use a couple of light, and they don't have to be heavy today, a couple of light dumbbells for this. You could grab a couple books or something else in your hand, that'll work too, or just go with nothing in your hand, it'll all work. Okay, so first movement, and you can see again the reps are on the website. First movement, we did a hip hinge, but we're actually gonna stagger our stance today. So good staggered stance, concentrate on the shoulders being back, and then we're gonna do hip hinges from that staggered stance position with about 70 or 80% of our weight on that front foot. So you're gonna do those. Then you're gonna move to front rack position and do a thruster, or for some of you, that deep squat's a hard thing to do, so it can just be push press. So not going very deep, that's totally fine. The next movement's gonna be back doing the hip hinge on the other leg. And then the fourth movement is gonna be external rotation of the arms. I'll show you that from the side. So I really, when I'm doing this exercise, focus on the backwards motion of it. I'm trying to really concentrate on that piece as I work through my shoulders. And I'm trying to keep the upper part of my arm kind of in the same place and space. And then the last movement, thumbs pointed. So I'm going to show you starting positions from the side, just doing a raise kind of on the scapular plane. So it's not on the side, so I'm not on the side, I'm not up front, I'm right in the middle, doing a nice raise like that. Those are all the motions that are in the first part of the workout. I think we did it in class 3 times, but do it twice, do it 4 times, all up to you. And we did on reps of 10. I'm gonna move the phone down now and show you the rest of the stuff all from the floor. So you will need for some of these movements a weight, a lot of them you don't. A towel, I don't have a towel here, but I've got one of our foamy things that we use for on your back for squats or some different movements like that, which will work as well, but a towel works good for this. And you might want one for your head or as a pillow. So part 2, all is done from what we would call the side lying position. So that's what I'm in right now. So I'm lying on the ground, my knees are up, I'm very comfortable. And the first movement we're going to do is external rotation. So same thing, we're gonna use a towel or something like that to raise our arms, get it into a good position, and then just do external rotation like that. Again, trying to keep this in the same spot and space so it's not moving around and doing a lot of stuff and just going back and forth. You can see the reps again on the website. Then we're gonna drop the weight, drop that as well. Just keep them close and handy for your next round. And we're gonna do horizontal adduction. So from a clapping kind of position, arms extended, and I'm gonna rotate. And you see my thumb, I can't see it at the top of the hand there, but I've rotated back. So my thumb is now pointing behind me. And it's really important to benefit from this exercise to have that rotation as you go back and forth. Then the third movement, very much from the same place, I'm gonna keep this arm parallel to the ground. I'm gonna do an overhead reach. Right? So my thumb is pointing that direction, and now it's pointing behind me. So the hand is gonna stay in that same orientation. So that's the second part. We do those on one side of your body, flip around, do it on the other side of your body. I think we did 2 rounds today in the live class. Again, it's gonna be up to you. There's a lot of shoulder stuff in the workout today, so you can go through and decide how many rounds you need to do. I kept the reps all at 10 for each exercise, but again, that's gonna be up for you. The third one, we're in the quadruped position, so that's what we call our quadruped position. And so the first one we do, the first movement for the quadruped position is we've got our hand nice flat, parallel to the ground, and we're gonna do an overhead reach. Really focusing on our scapular muscles and the rotator cuff in the back, trying to make sure that those muscles are contracting. And as you can tell, my hand is going to a handshake position from here where it's parallel to the ground, where it's vertical to the ground, and that rotation is important as well. So I'm going to do those motions on one side of my body, then I'm going to do immediately switch and do the other side of my body. Then I'm going to go into staying in that quadruped position. I'm going to give you a couple of options. The simple, easy option is just going to be shoulder touches with my knees on the ground. One a little harder, I'm going to get my knees off the ground. This is quite a bit harder, and do shoulder touches, trying to keep my body steady. And you could even do it from front plank if you want to switch around. Trying your best to keep that body steady through the whole workout. And then the last piece of these 3 movements is I'm just going to go through cat-cow and just make sure I get some good global flexion and extension of my spine. So those are the 3 parts, part 3, and then we move on to part 4. Only 2 movements in this last part. One of them is, both of them are from what we call supine position. So I'm going to be on my back, supine. I've got my towel. I'm going to put it between my knees. It's in a 90-90 position here, so I'm going to keep that elevated, and I'm going to do wall slides. So I got my elbow, my forearm, my hand on the floor, and I'm going to slide up and down and not allow them to leave the floor. So it's not this one where my elbows have come off the ground. I'm going to go as high as I can while I keep my hand on the ground. I'm going to give you a little extra look here. I'm just going to move the camera so you can see my hand, and I'm doing that wall slide. You can see for me, that's about all range of motion I've got in my shoulders. If I cheat, of course I can go further, but for those of you who've got shoulder restrictions, that's what you're going to experience. And I've seen lots of people be able to reach right overhead and stay in that position, but then there's people like me that got more restrictions in their shoulders. So we're going to work on that, and then we're going to stay still in that supine position, and you can add weight to this, and you can have them in both hands for this one. So I'm going to raise again. I'm in this position, and I'm going to do external rotation from that position on the ground. And I'm going to do that a couple of rounds. Lots of shoulder stuff. Definitely by the end of the workout today, everybody's shoulders are tired. And make sure you do some good mobility work after, and have a great Victoria Day weekend. Thanks.